And not everybody is here. I did not see, our water champion is Steve Robichon, who was with the Palouse Aquifer Committee. And he is, last I heard, he was down in Arizona somewhere in winter. And he picked a great year to go to Arizona. I don't know how he figured that out, but he did a terrific job of doing it. But the thing I want to say about Steve was, and of course he recently retired from his role as the executive director of the Palouse Basin Aquifer Committee, a position that he magnified for more than 11 years. And I've been to a number of the different fall events that we've had, and one of the things I always liked about Steve, when he got up and gave presentations, he made fun out of it and had some jokes for us, and he had a real good sense of humor. But the guy was very, very knowledgeable about what he talked about, and he made it an interesting subject for all of us. So we'll save on to this. I'm going to give these. Will you come on up, Tyler, then? But this is his award, so when we get him up here, we need to take him out to lunch or give him a bad time or listen to some more of his jokes or whatever. But anyway, that was terrific. Now, I'm going to move on to the teacher award, and this goes to Leanne Erickson. So come on up here. Leanne, I want to brag a little bit about you. Teachers have always been a favorite, my favorite people, because they worked so hard to get me where I needed to be. Because I was one of those kids that was always rambunctious. I could never sit still. I always had to be on the move. And now they call that OCD, but back 50 years ago, 60 years ago, they didn't call it that. They had a different way of fixing guys like me whenever we had that. So anyway, Leanne has, after almost 30 years of teaching, she remains a pillar of the Moscow community and Moscow High School. And she is just adamant about the job she has done. I could stand here and talk about Leanne for quite a while, but it's who always brings up these types of awards and talks about are the kids that you teach. And that's what's important, because you're effective as a teacher. And for all of us, it's the kids and the generation underneath it, they're coming up, and what makes the difference in not only our community and our state, but even our nation, those kids underneath of us, by learning from wonderful teachers such as yourself.
Thank you.
So with that, Leanne, here is your award. And I'd like to, do we need to be over here, Gary, or can we? Okay.
Nice view. Let's go. Yeah.
Would you like to say
Oh, super, thank you. Thank you very much. And I'd just like to invite anyone in the room to join the Moscow High School Environmental Club this Saturday. We're going to ride our bikes over to Pullman for the March for Science. So welcome to come to that. We also do a lot of projects out at the Phillips Farm, and we always actually do need some adult volunteers. So contact me if you'd like to get involved in any way. We'll put you to work. Thanks so much. This is a nice award. Thank you.
Okay, the next category that we have here is businesses. And this year award goes to the Thorn Creek Native Seed Farm. And we have two people, Wayne and JC Jensen. Would you please come up, Wayne and JC? And like I said, I'm going to read a paragraph here. Over the years, Wayne and JC recognized a land stewardship need involving the Palouse Prairie. When they realized that restoration and conservation of the Palouse Prairie requires availability of seeds from native wildflowers, they decided to start Thorn Creek Native Seed Farm. And for that, we all get a chance to really benefit from that within our own area and our community. So it's really terrific to give both Wayne and JC these awards. So they each one have one. I had a little fun with them before the council meeting. Instead of trying to give just one of these, we got two of them. So they can hang them wherever they want.
His and her office.
Yes, his and her office. That's exactly right. And I'll like you. Both of you like to say a few words for you? It's up to you. You don't have to. It's up to you.
Just want to thank the commission for recognizing not only us, but everybody through the years. It's an honor, and thank you very much. And the mayor.
Okay, the next, what we're going to, is the event part of it, and the event is for a Food for Thought film series by the Moscow Food Co-op. So, is somebody here from the Moscow Food Co-op? Please come up. And I mixed them up, wouldn't you know it? I thought I had them all here somewhere, but... I know it's here somewhere. Well, nevertheless, I don't know what I did with them. I must have left it in my office, so there you have it. Come on up here. Come on up here. I want to brag a little bit because the co-op shows an average between 8 and 10 documentaries and feature films each year on environmental issues related to the co-op's mission and what they do and what they achieve in our area. So with that, I would like you to speak for a few minutes and tell us what you do, would you please?
All right. Once we heard of the nomination, I did some digging. I've only been in the co-op for 3 years, but the film series has been going on, I learned, since 2009, so quite some time. It started as the Good Food film series, and they changed it to the Food for Thought film series so that we could encompass more broader topics that are related to environmentalism, not just food. So I can't take credit for starting it. There have been many, many people who have really built the film series over the years. And we are actually now a committee of community members, so it's not just the co-op, but lots of involved participants. And we've partnered with the University of Idaho Sustainability Center to make it free for everyone so that students and the community can all have access. In fact, we have one this Wednesday, 7 p.m. It's at the Kenworthy, like always. We have Leonardo DiCaprio's new documentary Before the Flood screening. So we hope you join us.
We're going to get a picture of this. We're going to get a picture of Ron here. Thank you again. The Food Co-op has been so consistent throughout the years and a very vital part of our entire community. You've been with them for 3 years, but they've been here for many, many years, and they've been consistent throughout the years for decades now. So for that, it's a big thing for all of us. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next thing, which is nonprofit organizations. And we have the Heart of the Arts. And I know Jenny's here somewhere. Come on up, Jenny. Sure, she... Yeah. I love this woman. Nobody's got more energy than her right here. And maybe she had a little bit of that OCD I talked about as a kid.
OCD, that's organizing.
Oh, okay.
I think you're ADHD. And I definitely have adult onset ADD, definitely.
Okay, then. Since taking over the 1912 center, Jenny Kostroff and company have been able to provide vital services to Moscow citizens and to promote environmental awareness and action. And talk about a group that has been consistent now for years, for a decade.
One whole decade.
One whole decade. And Jenny doesn't get any older looking. She has been so instrumental in making this happen for us.
I didn't know this was compliment night.
Well, this is one of my fun nights to be able to get a chance to just to kind of BS and talk about things like this because it's so much fun. So because it's really pretty cool. So Jenny, come on. Tell us a little bit. You're never shy of words.
Okay, I'm never shy of words. So when I started thinking about how we are sustainable, the 1912 Center is helping to renovate an existing structure in the community for the community. So we're taking an old building and repurposing it for a new use, and that's very exciting. And we're only 1/3 of the way complete there, so we've got 2 more floors to do. So that's one of the big things that we do. But on the small scale, I am a huge advocate of not using plastic silverware personally. And in the 1912 Center, we host the Plate Project for PCEI, which is the Palouse Clearwater Environmental Institute. Tom Lamar loves it when we say the whole name. So, and that is a great way for you at your parties at your homes to use real silverware. And just this past weekend, over 1,500 pieces of plastic silverware were not put into the trash because I facilitated all of the silverware at the Beans and Jeans fundraising event for Habitat for Humanity, and that's housed in the 1912 Center. We took all that silverware over and made that happen. So it's very exciting to know that the Plate Project is seeing all of us in town not make more trash. So that's a sustainable thing, and I was very excited about that. So there we go. Yay. There's too many cameras.
Click, click.
It was him. He was making faces. It wasn't.
Thank you, Jenny. In the 1912, it's no secret to the entire group here, 1912 is quite a treasure in our city. So thank you, Jenny, for everything that you folks do for us. Okay, moving on. I will go to Green Stewards Award. This is kind of fun because the two folks that received awards this year are John Kimmerling and Paul Kimmel. And John and Paul are instrumental in organizing the annual Palouse Basin Water Summit with 11 summits under their belt. These guys have been consistent about what they've done. This is an annual meeting with all out-of-town speakers that we have had over the number of years, wonderful keynote speakers. And most of them generally are an author of some type, which every time I get a chance to read one of the books, it's kind of a different twist on water and the sustainability of water on our planet. And so it's a big deal for us, and it's one of those things for our area, for the entire Palouse, whether it be Moscow or Pullman or the entire Palouse region, that water is a big thing for us. And of course, even though we're having an extremely wet last 5 or 6 months, as everybody here knows, between the rain and snow that we've got, it's a precious resource that we have got to make sure and manage and use to the best of our ability. So with that, I'd like to have John Kimmerling and Paul Kimmel come up, please.